Well, hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Check Your Schedule with our entertainment expert Rick Bentley. I'm Elena Rusk, and we love talking about all the great things there are to do around town. And this week the weather has been beautiful, and this weekend it is fantastic. Probably our last cool weekend before summer comes racing in.
I know. But again, I knew when I moved to Bakersfield it was going to be hot in the summer, so
Right.
I don't complain. I get it. It's not like I was living in Anchorage and it was suddenly 100 degrees. So
That's true.
But we are lucky. I mean,
We are.
this weekend is going to be very nice, and there's just tons of stuff to do.
There is, and I wanted to start with a couple really big book sales. You are a volunteer with both of these organizations.
Right.
They're two that are very close to my heart. I'm a friend of the Kern County Library, the
Right.
nonprofit through there,
Right.
and my children love the twice yearly kids book sale, and there's one coming up on Saturday.
On Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock. It's a kids' book sale out at the Beale Library. We've been working for months getting all the books together. And I want to remind people, this book sale at the Beale on Saturday is strictly for kids.
Yes.
So, and teens.
Yes.
So we have everything from, Mickey Mouse books to Twilight. There are just thousands of books there. And what's so great about the Beale book sale for kids, we have books as low as a dime.
Yes.
And I have been working there when I have seen teachers or people who have those little library boxes outside their houses who come and spend $5 and go away with a box full of books. And so if they get damaged or you don't feel bad where if you had spent $50 at a regular bookstore, wouldn't want that to be torn up. And so there's always just this great selection. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize is we get, on both book sales, we get all these books in, we go through them, we clean them, we throw out anything that's got water damage, anything. We get a lot of books that have, people love the yellow mark.
Right.
And we don't keep those, so you're getting as close to pristine as you can get. And again, at a wonderful, wonderul price. I mean, even at the SPCA book sale, the prices, the top hardback books are like $4.
Yeah.
And paperback books are half of that. And we have it at the SPCA book sale, we have everything from classic novels to brand new releases. We have a whole table full of stuff from 2024 and 2025. So it's a great way. I've always told people, for what you would pay for one book at a bookstore, you can buy boxes of books with either one of these book sales.
Exactly. And I love letting my children just run loose and pick whatever titles they want, whatever speaks to them, whether it's just the cover art or it's a series that they know that they love, and they get so excited to collect those, and then it fosters that love of reading. All the money for both of these are for great causes. So the first one, we'll talk about the SPCA. This is opening on Saturday, and then it runs for a month.
It runs for a full month, Wednesday through Sundays each day. The idea of that is sometimes people just can't get out that opening day. Now, I will tell people, those who come, if you don't come that first day, that's when we get a ton of our book sellers. So you want to make sure if you've got certain books in mind, you want to show up as early as you can. But again, if you can't make Saturday, if you're going to be at the Beale book sale on Saturday, you can go to the SPCA book sale on Sunday, so that you'll have another day. And then it will be open again starting the following Wednesday through Sunday. So both are very, it's very cost efficient, and there's just a ton of stuff to pick through.
Yeah, I just love it. And again, the used book sale for kids at the Beale Memorial Library. This starts at 10 a.m. Usually there's a little bit of a rush in the morning, but you're going to get in, you're going to fan out among all of the books that they have stacked up there for the little ones. And what I love doing is I let my kids pick out as much as they can carry.
Right.
Then we throw it all in a bag and I check out, and usually it's $8.80.
Yeah.
And I just hand them a 10 and say, keep the change, because it all stays for the Friends of the Kern County Library nonprofit.
Yeah, and that's the wonderful thing about both of these book sales. The money that you spend on the books goes to those organizations to either spend, for the SPCA, it's our summer program for kids, and at the Beale, it's for the summer program for the kids. And so all that money goes right back. It's just it's a great way of recycling books to benefit the community. And I will point out this, at the kids book sale at the Beale, I have a set of first edition Harry Potter books that I'm going to sell as a lot. So there's some very special things that may be a little higher than that 10 cents,
Yeah.
but stuff that's well worth that.
At the last sale, I got a really great condition set of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for my daughter. So I love that you have those options, but that's going to be a little bit more.
Yeah, it's funny. We get in all these donations, and we'll hold back like, oh, we have two of the Harry Potters. Let's see if we get the third. Oh, we got now. And then when we get the set, we try to sell it as a set.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just love that. So some great book sales happening this weekend. Also happening this weekend, we mentioned the weather will be beautiful.
Yes.
We just had Earth Day on Tuesday. That continues into the weekend. We have the Great American Cleanup happening on Saturday. You're going to have some passing clouds. Beautiful forecast for you.
Yeah. I don't know much about it.
Our prompter isn't running, but I do have it here. So I love that you and I both found this event because it's so exciting when we all come together to make our community a better place to live. You're going to show up as a volunteer on Saturday. The main event for Bakersfield for the 22nd Annual Great American Cleanup is happening at Yokitz Park from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Keep America Beautiful committee is putting this on. They're expecting hundreds of volunteers to come out. You see everybody there in their shirts. We have a great poster that shows you where you can register. Use your phone to scan a QR code, and that will get you in. You get the shirt. They're going to set you up with all the supplies that you need to show up that day and start cleaning up the park. You can start at 8 a.m. At 10:30, there's a big fun group photo. They have a mascot out there. At 10:45, you'll enjoy lunch together, and then there's a ceremony at 11 a.m. and you can continue playing and being together until 1 because, again, the forecast will be so beautiful out there. Then also happening this weekend, this is a great one for celebrating Earth Day at Hart Park.
Yeah, the Interest in Environment continues on April 27th with a continuation of celebrating Earth Day from noon to 4 o'clock at Hart Park. Now, there are going to be outdoor exhibits, reptiles, Native American tools and baskets, geology and minerals, and a whole lot more.
Just fantastic. And again, we're expecting 70s and clearing skies on Sunday, a beautiful day out there. So this is for the afternoon at Hart Park. We're also celebrating nature in the mountains this weekend. We have the Tehachapi Wind Festival. This is returning for its second year on April 26th. I didn't even know that they had this last year.
Yeah.
But you think of Tehachapi as being breezy in the spring. Let's go fly a kite.
Yeah, and that's what's so wonderful about it is that you get to fly a kite. You can bring your own, or they'll have some there that you can purchase. And I think that's a wonderful reminder of the power of the wind. And again, there's something so soothing and relaxing generally about flying a kite. I've been frustrated a couple of times trying to get one up in the air. But again, it's one of those great ways to it's a participation event. And I love those when they have things like that where you just don't go and stare at things, but you actually get to do something like that. And this is good. This will be fun, again, for the entire family.
For the whole family. So that's running from 1 to 5 p.m. on Saturday at Meadowbrook Park there in Tehachapi. A very fun way to celebrate Tehachapi's spring season and to celebrate the wind. It will include some food trucks, some bounce houses, recreational fun, a DJ, face painting, crafts, activities, vendors, and like you mentioned, the kites.
Yeah. You can bring your favorite kite or purchase a new one at the festival.
And then finally, for the weekend ahead, this is a huge one, again, very family friendly at the fairgrounds. The NSRA 48th Annual Western Street Rod Nationals will take over for the weekend starting on April 25th.
Yeah, besides some really cool cards, the event will include a swap meet. There'll be commercial exhibitors, there's arts and crafts, and of course the streets of rods.
It's so neat. Families can participate in games there. There's a coloring contest for the kids. They'll have daily entertainment, including Nick Donovan's Rockin' Road Show. I just love wandering around and checking out all the classics. They have customs. They have the hot rods themselves. And most of the owners are there standing next to their car because they're so excited to talk to other enthusiasts. And also, they're usually very kind and open the doors, let the kids sit down and check out that history throughout the years on wheels.
You know, it's amazing to me to look at these cars and realize they have been brought back to a pristine, time. And I mean, these are works of love.
Yes.
I mean, people spend years even looking for the tiniest bolt or an antenna knob or something just to make everything as original as possible. And so you'll see that when you go to this show. You can look at all the details and look at the passion and the love that's gone into each one of these cars.
And you can go multiple days. I like going out with my kids on Friday afternoon after school. You check everything out. They pick their favorites. Then you can go back on Sunday. They're going to have a church service in the morning and then the Sunday Circle of Winners. So that's pretty cool if your kids can see if their favorite cars made it to the top of the top.
Exactly. And who doesn't love cars?
Right? They're just so much fun. Okay, so now, of course, we're going to talk about TV because this is your expertise.
Oh, this is it. Yep.
So if you're staying in and hanging out, there are some big things happening on TV this weekend.
You know, I'm always looking for these sort of family positive programming. And you know what? I found just that with Up and Faith and Family. Now that's a streaming service. And it has a new show. It's the second season of the series, Divine Restoration, Destination New England. Now the host of the show is a very familiar face to fans of the TV series Chips. And that's Eric Estrada. You know, I talked with Estrada about this show, which is to him a very, very major labor of love.
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, that interview didn't roll.
It was a very bland interview. Yeah. No, basically what Erica was talking about is that they go to this community, and unlike a lot of the home improvement shows, they go in and they get the community involved. Mm-hmm. So if, say, a family needs a ramp built for handicap accessibility, they will get a local person to build that. And everybody volunteers. And when you watch the show, you realize that this is not just about fixing something. It's about fixing a community, about people coming together and showing that, you know, there's still people out there who really care. And it happens you know, at different places through each episode of the show. But Estrada's there to sort of guide things along. And again, it's one of those things where you're having a celebrity like that helps draw on the masses and everything like that. But, you know, he has, since leaving Chips, he's done a lot of different work. He's done a lot of faith-based movies. Mm-hmm. And so when this came along, because the Up Faith and Family channel, that streaming service, has a lot of family-friendly programming, and this was a natural for him. He just felt like it was a good way to lend his name to a project that really did support a community and some individuals. And one of the episodes that you'll see in that second season, they help a vet center. Oh. So it's all these local. It's one of the things they help people who are helping people to continue to help people.
I just love that. And then you mentioned that this is a streaming service. Do you have to pay to download it? Is it one of those that runs with commercials?
You check your schedule. If you have a Roku, oftentimes that channel's available on that. I don't think there's a fee for that one, but there might be a fee for the home, because Up Faith and Family is part of a huge package of, they have like 10 channels. So if you want the whole package, you might have to pay like 99 cents a month or something like that. Okay. But again, that kind of programming, it's worth it.
It is. I like that feel-good programming. I like knowing that I can just turn on the TV, and if the kids walk into the room, they're not going to run into something they shouldn't be seeing.
Yeah. And in this day and age, when it seems like the networks are loosening their standards about what can be said and what can be shown, you have to be very cautious. And again, I'm not going to tell you what your kid can or cannot see, but I'm going to tell you that programming like this, I feel comfortable that anybody can see this. So good. I've seen people who have been offended by, you know, somebody, oh no, they used a yellow on that house that just is ugly. I hate this show. No, but the intent is that it's very family friendly.
That's just fantastic. So then we'll now move to the big screen and talk about movies. The Accountant 2 is coming out.
Yeah, Accountant. This is a sequel to the film that came out it's 8 years ago. It's Ben Affleck in the role as the accountant. You know, this is an accountant who's sort of stopped crunching numbers, and he's starting to bust heads. Now, the sequel to Accountant 2 opens this week. He plays forensic accountant Christian Wolf, who teams up with his estranged but highly lethal brother to track down some of the mysterious assassins. Now, when somebody close to her is killed by unknown assassins, Treasury Agent Mary Beth Medina is forced to contact Wolf to solve the murder. The accountant will use his brilliant mind and sort of less than legal methods to piece together the unsolved puzzle. The trio attracts the attention of some of the most ruthless killers alive when they start getting near the truth. Okay. The interesting thing about this film is the word ahead of time is the first account was a little bit more number crunchy, a little dry. Mm-hmm. This one they're cranking up the action in it. So we'll see. We'll have a full review on that on the noon show on Friday.
So exciting. I like seeing new movies. I like when big stars are back in the movies. We're also taping a segment tomorrow about the top blockbusters that are coming out for the summer ahead. And many of those start in May, right? That's kind of the height of summer movie season.
Summer movie season has always started the first weekend in May. And it's going to kick off with The Thunderbolts, which is another Marvel movie. And as I've put this list together, I was trying to pick 10 movies we're going to be talking about. And there's a lot, everything from another live action version of a Disney animated film. We're going to see a lot. It's really the summer of sequels and remakes.
Yeah.
So, and we're even seeing weird things like they're doing a new version of Police Story. The Leslie Nielsen comedy.
Yeah.
Except Liam Neeson's going to take over that role. And then Megan 2, which is that horror film. So yeah, it's a lot of interesting films coming out this summer.
Interesting. And so again, we'll have much more on that coming up. We also wanted to talk about some other movies coming out because on Friday we have Until Dawn. This is another horror movie.
It's an interesting horror movie in the fact that we have a group of friends get trapped in a house in a time loop. And so each day they get killed again and again in different ways. And they have to survive, get this, till dawn to be able to get out of the house. So we have that interesting concept of a horror film with a gimmick that I don't like, but we'll see how it works in this. I'm always saying that time travel gimmicks, there are too many loopholes in it so you can get around, and I don't necessarily like it. We'll see how this one works out.
Okay, so this is all happening 1 year after the main character's sister disappears. Clover and her friends go to the remote valley where she vanished to look for answers. While they're exploring an abandoned visitor center, they encounter this masked killer who murders them one by one. So then, I'm not big into horror movies. You kind of have to see all of the horror movies. Do you think this is more thriller? Do you think it's more horror? Can you not really predict yet?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think there's that horror element. You're going to have gruesome murders. There's no question about that. But you're also going to have that, well, how do we figure out how to survive? Mm-hmm. So we kind of get that thriller aspect of, we need to get through the night. So you kind of get the combination of that. It seems like it's a little bit smarter than the average horror film because generally the average horror film is, don't go into the woods by yourself. Don't go into that room by yourself. And they get killed. Mm-hmm. And this one, it's that you at least have that event of over and over again. And again, it'd be horrific enough to be in a place where you're being stalked, but to do that night and night and night again, it adds to the thriller part of it.
It also makes me think about video games that we kind of get a little desensitized. You're just like, I died, and then you re-energize and you go again. So this kind of gives you back that human element of, no, you died, and the terror of that, and then coming back and having to face it again. I would hope that it helps you kind of realize, even though it's thriller and it's all made up, that there is a gruesome part to what we're consuming when we watch this stuff.
Yeah, but let's be clear, this movie is based on a video game.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have that, in a video game, you die and come back, and that's what happens here. So maybe it's the closest to a video game movie that we've had.
Maybe. So fascinating. And we also wanted to talk about Legend of, is it Ochi? Ochi. This looks sweet for families.
Yeah, it's about an island where the residents of the island are cautious of a species that lives on the island. They fear them. They feel like they're predators, and yet a young girl finds one of the Ochi who has been injured, and she decides to nurse it back to health, and then return it to its family. And it's a story about looking past what we think people and things are to that true nature of them. It looks to be a fun, friendly movie. You've seen there. It's got Willem Dafoe in it, who, incidentally, last year appeared in on screen more than any other actor
Really?
in Hollywood. Yeah, you would think it would have been somebody like Timothée Chalamet,
Right.
but Willem Dafoe had 3 movies out, and so he, around the world, he was on the screen more than any other actor from 2024.
That's a very fun fact. And so now he's back. And I know we can't really judge a movie by its trailer, but you always research this stuff. This looks like it may be a little too scary, a little too dark for my 5-year-old, but my 8-year-old I think would love it because she likes comics, she likes those more colorful stories. But if there's ever an element of something you're a little scared of, my tiniest one tends to shy away.
Yeah, and this is where I go back to saying I'm never going to tell you what your child can see. But to me, in looking at the clips and previewing this, it has that feel of the sort of the tension of E.T.
Okay.
And so, that for some, E.T. is very horrifying. I mean, and for others, it's a sweet film. So yeah, it looks like it's got the potential to be good for everybody, but until I see it, I can't say.
I totally understand that. Okay, so then we are all wrapped up with things here in town and what's coming to the little screen and the big screen, but we wanted to talk about something that's happening just to ourselves because, of course, people with teenagers are always looking for ways to keep the kids active and out of trouble, and I thought that this was a fun one happening at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah, Universal Studios is holding an event that will make a great day trip for you. Universal Fan Fest Nights is designed to allow fans of such franchises as Star Trek, Back to the Future, and Dungeons & Dragons to tap into their inner fandom. Now, the event is scheduled to start April 25th and features all new, uniquely curated experiences that were inspired by the sci-fi, fantasy, gaming, and anime worlds. Now, with Star Trek Red Alert, park visitors will have a walkthrough experience that will take guests on an immersive adventure through the USS Enterprise NCC 1701-D, which, if for those who are not nerds, that's the original starship, on a mission to prevent the interstellar threat. Guests will find themselves transported to the year 2403, just as an otherworldly entity wreaks havoc on the ship. I got a chance to talk with Steven Searks. Now, he's the executive producer and the senior director for entertainment at the Southern California theme park. And he gave me some behind-the-scenes info on the Star Trek part of the Fan Fest, and he also gave me a special experience that I'll talk about in a moment. Hey, Steven, Universal Studios Hollywood has always been a place for fans to get up close and personal to TV and film production. How does this step it up?
Yeah, FanFest Nights is our brand new event debuting this spring and really developing and bringing to life some iconic brands with a fan-first and authentic foundation to really develop stories and develop these environments and characters in a way that we haven't been able to before.
Now, what are the different elements? We're standing in one right now. Which is this one?
Yeah, we're standing here at Star Trek Red Alert, and we're putting the finishing touches on some of the environments and scenery that our guests are going to be able to experience. And that goes across the board with everything else that we're developing as part of FanFest Nights, whether it's Star Trek or Dungeons & Dragons, Back to the Future, also celebrating the iconic worlds of Super Nintendo World and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and really excited to also debut anime as part of FanFest Nights with Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece.
Okay, Steven, you're taking on Star Trek here, and fans of that are rabidly knowledgeable about it. How much time and detail went into creating this exhibit?
We're really excited about the level of detail that our teams put into the development and creation of Star Trek Red Alert. We had the opportunity and pleasure to work directly with Paramount and the Star Trek franchise team in not only the development, but also the creative of the experience. So really being able to bring to life these iconic environments and these iconic characters with that mentality of being authentic and fan first every step of the way.
Okay, we can see the walls, we can see a few of the small props here, but I'm just curious, what else goes into making this into this experience?
Yeah, you can see just in this small window of the experience the level of detail that the team has taken. And it's really taken a team of designers and artisans and the production team about 2 years to conceive and develop and build this experience, as well as all the other experiences that fans are going to be able to enjoy as part of FanFest Nights.
And Steven, you're talking about a Star Trek experience. There's been so many between the original, next gen. There's so many versions of it. What are you sort of focusing in on?
Yeah, this one's exciting because it's bridging one of the newer elements of the franchise with the Picard series on Paramount Plus, with one of the legacies of Next Generation. So we're able to bridge the two through the conceit of the Starfleet Museum. So we're invited to board the Enterprise D, the iconic Enterprise D, as part of an exclusive tour that has been developed for the Starfleet Museum. So it's a fantastic way of bridging that new with the legacy.
Now, I understand, many people have come to the horror nights, but this sort of experience is different. Could you talk about how different it's going to be?
Yeah, one of the things that we're developing as part of experiences like Star Trek Red Alert is that it's a story-based pulsed attraction, meaning that we experience these environments and these scenes in groups. And through each of the show scenes, we have dwell time. So the story develops around us in that smaller group before we advance forward into the next scene. So that results in a longer experience from start to finish, but also more of an immersive story-based experience along the way as well.
Yeah. Now, having walked through it, the groups get sort of divided occasionally. So is it good to see this more than once for a perspective point of view?
We definitely think that guests and our fans are going to want to experience this more than one time to really pick up on some of the subtle Easter eggs along the way, but also some of the differences, the nuanced differences between the path, depending on which group you're put in throughout the experience.
And Stephen, the last question, when you're dealing with the crew that's putting this together, is your favorite phrase engage or make it so?
Depending on the day and what's happening, certainly we've used both of them all along the way, but right now as we gear up for our exciting opening of FanFest Nights on April 25th, it is certainly make it so.
That looks like so much fun. It reminds me a bit of Star Wars at Disneyland, where they created the immersive experience full of actors, and you feel like you were not on a set, you feel like you were in the film. So did you get that similar feeling?
Yeah, walking through those corridors, I really had this, because I'm a big fan of Star Trek. I do want to stress people that this is only going to run through middle of May.
Okay.
It's amazing they went to such expense and detail to create this, and it's only a limited time. So don't wait. Oh, I'll go this summer. You really need to experience this. And for me, it was a little bit of a special thing because that command set features the props from the TV show Star Trek Picard, and they allowed me to sit in the captain's chair.
Oh.
And for me, I'm the king of the nerds because I've now sat in 5 of the captain's chairs over the years. And no, I did not sit in the first captain's chair. I'm not that old. But since then, I've been able to do everything through Enterprise to Deep Space Nine. And this was just really cool because it really does show you the detail they've gone to. The Universal Studios people worked directly with the Paramount people who had done the show. So every little light, every blip, every sound effect is exactly like if you were on the TV show.
That's so cool. So TV coming to life, an immersive experience. Tickets are on sale now for this event, which is taking place April 25th, 26th, 27th, so this weekend. Also May 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9, 10, 11, 16, 17, 18, and then it's done.
That's it.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, only 4 weekends.
Yep.
Okay, and we're going to get our tickets online. If you are staying in town and hanging out in this beautiful weather, what is your favorite show to kind of binge right now?
Oh, right now, well, I've just started Andor.
Okay.
Which is the second season of the Star Trek series on Disney Plus, and the first season is good. I mean, the first episode is good, but every first episode in a new season has to set up so much, because this one picks up a year after the first season. So I would say start with Andor. The first 3 episodes of this second season are available right now. And it was funny because ABC actually showed the first on their network to sort of tease people into it. So, but those 3, if you didn't catch it on ABC, those 3 are available right now on Disney Plus.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rick.
Okay.
So we love doing this with you every week. We'll have another episode coming up next week with all the things.
Yep.
If you have any suggestions, find us on kget.com as you're watching along. Let us know of great events that you want to share, things that you're watching, your opinions on our reviews, because you're the first to always say, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear your feedback. I've been stopped many a time in a store saying, hey, movie guy, you were wrong. And I go, well, I wasn't wrong. It was my opinion. You're not wrong. So
let me hear your opinion.
I'd love to hear it from people.
Yeah, Rick, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And again, another edition of Rick's Picks for the top 10 movies to watch this summer coming up on Friday. And then next week, are you starting to think about what will Rick's Picks be, or are you still kind of brainstorming?
The top 10?
Yeah.
I want to do the top 10 TV shows that became movies.
Oh, I like that. that.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Now you know what to watch and what to do. Rick, thank you so much for joining
You're welcome.
us. Have a great day, everyone.